Betwabble, betwabble. Betwabble, yeah, betwabble. All right, beautiful people. Betwabble, betwabble. It is Friday, day 140, 140 of reading through the books of instruction and the prophets. And we are finishing up the book of Nehemiah today. Yeah, we'll finish it up because we're going to start in third Ezra tomorrow. Since there's 4 chapters left in Nehemiah, we're just going to go ahead and do all 4 instead of leaving it off. And, so I think we just do it all. Okay, let me get started. Do I ever sleep? I don't. I really don't. Like, I was up. Shoot. I only got like a few hours of sleep last night up because it blew my mind. Now, y'all to hear me talk about the book of Daniel, right? I'm up posting. And I started reading the book of Maccabees again. Like, I like listened to it, but I halfway listened to it. I didn't really get through all of it because it's 4 books of Maccabees. It tells about a certain period in our history. Not that long ago. It was a few hundred years ago. But still, in the very first chapter, I had to stop and like, wait, what did it say? Then I had to go back to the book of Daniel. I posted it last night. Hi, did y'all know today? And it gives very specific detail on what happened. The abomination of desolation, the abomination that causes desecration, or oh my gosh, y'all. It's in Maccabees. And it's happened already. And I'm like, wait, what? What? Because the more I thought about it and the more I read, I was like, wait a minute. And then I got to Google it. Sure enough, it's Antiochus Epiphanes. It was during his time. It was him. Hold on. Very first chapter. Y'all, I screenshot and put it in there. You have to go read it. I'm like, wait, this happened? And the more I thought about it, the abomination that causes desolation. So wait a minute. If that already happened, it's not going to happen. Because, you started thinking, Betwabu, Trina, Betwabu, Talaine. I started thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. And my whole mind went to the whole Antichrist thing, to the tribulation period. Mind you, y'all know my thoughts. And I'm like, it's already shenanigans there, So I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, so what they're teaching is all wrong. They say they're waiting for the Antichrist. When they rebuild it, here's the going story in the church, right? That's why it blew me away. Like, I didn't really have any proof until I actually read it. And so when I read it, I'm like, what? And I was just up and going through it, reading, going back and forth, reading in Daniel chapter 9 and chapter 11 and chapter 12. It starts telling you about it in Daniel chapter 9, the abomination of desolation. Matthew talks about it in what do you call it? I call it the tribulation chapter, Matthew chapter 24. It talks about the abomination that causes desolation, which Daniel spoke about. And then it put in parentheses in black letters, reader be aware. And I could never understand why that was innocent. All versions it says, reader be aware. So I'm wondering, like, why did they really put that there? Like, reader be aware that this has already happened. Because think about it. When they actually wrote the New Testament, that had already happened. It already happened. It's in Maccabees. It's like Daniel starts telling you about it in Daniel chapter 9, that it goes into some interpretations of some dreams. And then it like picks it up. It's like Maccabees is almost a continuation of Daniel, so to speak, or it splits the story between Daniel and Maccabees. But Maccabees gives way more detail. And matter of fact, even what Matthew says, he said, when you see this happening, flee to the hills. But in Maccabees, it tells you about that when the king came in to it says is who causes the daily sacrifice to be stopped. that the Jews who were keeping Torah and who wanted to continue keeping Torah, it was very few. He said he will come in Daniel in chapter 11, it picks it back up. He said he will come in with flattery and pretty much take hold some of those who keep the covenant, meaning some of the ones who were keeping Yahuwah's law, statutes, and commands were going to defect to him, like they were going to completely turn their back on Yahuwah's law, statutes, and commands. And he said, and for those who did, that he would reward them with many gifts. And that's what happened. Maccabees explains that those are priests that actually left Yahuwah's priesthood to go serve the king and defile the temple and do these wicked things. He said they're no longer going to do sacrifices to Yahuwah, the King of Heaven. Now they're going to start, they call circumcision to stop. They cause a daily sacrifice to stop, which Matthew talks about as well. And also they said they would begin sacrificing the abominable thing on Yahuwah's altar, which were pigs. I'm like, God, dog, reading is fundamental to our life. I'm like, oh my gosh, it goes. I'm just like, y'all have got to go read this. Y'all have got to go read it. And I'm not even done with all of it, but that's why I was up all last night, Tiffany. When you said, I'll call Alicia. I was like, girl, did y'all look? And you probably seen it in the family group too. I screenshot it, posted in our little family group. I'm not even sure if anybody seen it in the family group. Everybody might have been asleep, but I was sharing it with everybody. I was like, this is the book of Maccabees goes into great detail about the abomination of desolation. Like, because that was one of my things, you know me. I love the book of Daniel. Then, when I was only reading the New Testament, I would reference, even still then, I would reference the book of Daniel, where it talks about the abomination of desolation. So I was like, wait a minute, okay. So, but now that I done read the book of Maccabees, I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, I'm not going to say that the church has lied to us. I'm just going to say they have been ignorant of this book that goes into deep detail of when this happened. I'm just like I could not sleep last night. And when I finally did go to sleep, Tiffany, I'm just like, I slept peacefully, although I only slept like 3 hours, but that was, girl, it is so much. It's like now, what you really got to think about is the current teaching that's going on about this. And it says, because they lumped the abomination of desolation in the tribulation period, right? And so now you gotta, that's what I started thinking about. I was like, so wait a minute. So if this has happened here, and you can go pull up Google and you can pull up the history references and everything, I'm like, it is right there in history. I'm like, what are we going to do with this? I say, now this whole narrative about the Antichrist, when the Antichrist come in and he sits in the temple, is going, and the peace plan, God, you know they pulled a peace plan from this too. He said he will come in and make a covenant with the people of he will come in and make a pact or a covenant with the people of the covenant, so to speak. But it tells you about that. That was the priest of Yah who he made a covenant. The covenant was that if you defect, if you stop serving Yah and come serve me and stop keeping all his law, statutes, and commands, I will give you gifts and all this stuff and the ships and everything that, oh my God, everything from Daniel chapter 7, 9, was it, not 7, Daniel, it starts talking about the Daniel chapter 9, then it picks the story back up in chapter 11 and chapter 12 and it detailing about, he sends out a tax collector, all that stuff, it's in Maccabees. I'm like, so what is really going on here? Like, if this is already happening, I'm like, how far down in it's like, how far down are we really? If this stuff has already happened, you can pull it out in history and see historical facts and kingdoms where it happened. It's like, what do you do with that? Because this is already happening, yet the church is teaching you, oh, Antichrist is going to come in here and he's going to create a peace plan, a 7-year peace treaty, and then halfway through it, half a time, because Daniel talks about it, but this has already happened according to the book of Maccabees, and it goes into deep detail of what Daniel said. And I'm just like, what are we going to do with that? I said the church is going to have to completely throw that teaching away. Not throw it away, but teach it correctly and pull up the historical facts in time when King Antiochus Epiphanes, when he actually ruled. And it's there. All of those things. The ones who, he said, when you see this happen, flee to the hills. The kingdom of Judah
to today.
Yeah, I know. You just... I love you. You wake the boys up?
I gotta go let Josh and get him in the truck and I'm coming right back.
Okay. All right. But it's like you have to correct that story. And when you correct that story, there's a whole other things you're gonna have to start thinking about now. Now you're gonna have to start teaching that to the people, to the church congregation correctly. Let's pull up these historical facts, y'all, and stop being so super spooky spiritual about it. And it's just like, you know what? Historical facts show and prove that during the reign of this king here, this happened and this happened and this happened, just like it says here. And it blew me away. It blew me away. That's why I've been up looking into this stuff and pulling up history, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, if people only knew this, they wouldn't be like led off a cliff with some of this spiritual stuff that's not spiritual at all. That's actually historical facts that are true, but they're being taught wrong. And shucks, we all guilty of it. Like, if you don't go look into these things to see what's true and what's not true and pull up, because anything that's in here, what hasn't been shenaniganized, you can find it in history. And that's the beautiful thing about it, because it's not although people use it as a spiritual book, it's a spiritual book, but it's also a history book. And the stuff in here that is true can be verified in history, in the books of the different rules and the kingdoms and stuff. And it blew me away. It blew me away. So let me get started with today's reading. Nehemiah chapter 10, 11, 12. And we're throwing in the last chapter, chapter 13, since this will be the end of Nehemiah. All right, but y'all have to go look into that. Don't take my word. Y'all have to go pull this up. I gave y'all like a starting point. But go look into that. Start pulling up that king back during that time and stuff. And it's like, like Leisha was like, I knew something was telling me to read Maccabees. I'm just like, okay. Chapter 10 of Nehemiah. Now those that sealed were Nehemiah, the Tershatha, or the governor. Tiffany, thank you for looking it up. The Tershatha is a governor. Every time I read that now, it's like, oh, that's a governor. A Tershatha is a governor. The son of Hilkiah and Zekijah, Sariah, Azariah, Jeremiah, Pashur, and y'all, we got a lot of names, so bear with me. Pashur, Amariah, Malachijah, Hattush, Shebaniah, Maluk, Haram, Merimoth, Obadiah, Daniel, Ginnethon, Baruch, Meshullam, Abijah, Majamin, Maziah, Bilgai, Shemaiah. These were the priests. Good morning, Antony. And the Levites, both Jeshua the son of Azaniah, Benu the sons of Henadad, Kadmiel and their brethren, Shebaniah, Hodijah, Kelita, Peliah, Hanan, Micah, Rehob, Hashabiah, Zachar, Zerubbabel, Shebaniah, Hodijah, Bani, Beninu, the chief of the people, Parash, Pahath Moab, Elam, Zatu, Benai, Buni, Asgad, Bebai, Adonijah, Bigvai, Adin, Ater, Hizkijah, Azer, Hodijah, Hashem, Bezai, Harif, Anathoth, Nibai, Magpiash, I know I screwed that up, Mishalam, Hezer, Meshabil, Zadok, Jedua, Pelatiah, Hanan, Ananiah, Tootie. Can you turn it down?
I like it.
Well, you need to go back upstairs, little lady.
I turn up.
You turn it up, you go upstairs. Go. I'm going to turn it off.
I turn up. Don't eat.
Turn it down and you can eat. You stomp your little feet again. I'm going to stomp on them for you. That's not child abuse, y'all. I wouldn't really stomp on them, but, you know, I probably shouldn't have said that on live. I ain't going to stomp on her feet. Thank you. Okay, verse 20. Magpiash, Meshullam, Hezer, Meshabil, Zadok, Jedua, Pelatiah, Hanan, Ananiah, Hosea, Hanan, Hashub, Helahesh, Peleah, Shobek, Raham, Hashabnah, Messiah, and Ahijah, Hanan, Anan, Meluk, Haram, Bana. And the rest of the people, the priests, the Levites, the porters, the singers, the Nethinims, and all they that had separated themselves from the people of the lands unto the law of Yahuwah, their wives, their sons, and their daughters, everyone having knowledge and understanding. They clave unto their brethren, their nobles, and entered into a curse and into an oath to walk in Yahuwah's law, which was given by Moses, the servant of Yahuwah, and to observe and to do all the commandments of Yahuwah our God, and his judgments and his statutes, and that we would not give our daughters unto the people of the land, nor take their daughters for our sons. And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day, and that we would leave the seventh year and the exaction of every debt. So they pretty much saying we keeping to all the commands. Everybody, yes, we agreeing to it. We're not gonna, there's a you hear also, and you read in the maybe it was Revelation, or was Matthew, but anyway, during the tribulation period or whatever, they said people wouldn't be able to buy nor sell. Well, Yahuwah's people on the Sabbath, they're going to choose not to buy nor sell, because it's a part of the commands that they keep in his laws that we do not buy or sell on the Sabbath. But that's just something to put out there, but that all that is we got to look at all that. And if the people of the land bring anywhere or victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day, and that we would leave every seventh year and the exaction of every debt. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute, Poop. You gotta wait till I'm done reading. And I'm almost done. Hold on. You know what? Hold on. Let me just grab her some sunflower seeds or something. Hold on. I ain't about to stand here and cook a whole meal yet, so you're going to have to wait a few minutes for that. Here, you want some of these?
No,
Oh, girl, look, you down here real bossy first thing this morning. You got to go back upstairs. Say, hop up. I'm recording. Here, you eat some of these until I'm done. You got peanuts. Here. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Give her some of these peanuts. Isaiah, hop up so I can sit down. Sit back down. Get up.
no, right here.
What you mean right there? Okay. All right. What's the problem first thing this morning? Oh, children. Verse 32. Also, we made the ordinance for us to charge ourselves yearly with the third part of a shekel for the service of the house of Yahuwah. For the showbread, for the you gotta turn it down, Bella. It's louder now that you're sitting right here beside me, so turn it down some more. For the showbread, and for the continual meat offering, and for the continual burnt offering, and the Sabbaths, and of the new moons, and for the set feasts, and for the holy things, and for the sin offerings, to make an atonement for Israel, and for all the work of the house of Yahuwah. Yes, she is 3, Tylane. And we cast the lots among the priests, the Levites, and the people for the wood offerings to bring it into the house of Yahuwah, after the houses of our fathers at times appointed year by year, to burn upon the altar of Yahuwah, our God, as it is written in the law, and to bring the first fruits of our ground and the first fruits of all trees year by year unto the house of Yahuwah. Bella, turn it down. Turn it down a little bit more. It's still loud. I'm going to send you upstairs. Turn it down some more. It's still loud. I know you already did. Turn it down a little bit more.
Simone, I already did.
Trina said that this showed us how spoiled the children are, as if we didn't know. Also, the camera is not showing all of you. Oh. Can you see me? Okay. Yes. Oh my. Uh-oh, it's saying pull wireless. Uh-oh. My camera. My connection going in and out. I ain't did anything. Come get it, Tiffany. She can put up a fight, though. Okay. Verse 36. Also the firstborn of our sons and of our cattle, as it is written in the law, and the firstlings of our herds and our flocks to bring to the house of Yahuwah our God, unto the priests that minister in the house of our God, and that we should bring the first fruits of our dough and of our offerings and fruit of all manner of trees, of wine and of oil, unto the priests, to the chambers of the house of Yahuwah, and the tithes of our ground unto the Levites, that the same Levites may have tithes in all the cities of our tillage. And the priests, the sons of Aaron, shall be with the Levites when the Levites take tithes, and the Levites shall bring up the tithe of the tithe into the house of Yahuwah, to the chambers and to the treasure house. For the children of Israel and the children of Levi shall bring the offering of corn, of the new wine, and the oil unto the chambers where are the vessels. I don't know why a connection going in and out, y'all. I know it's pausing me. And the priests that minister, and the porters, and the singers, and we will not forsake the house of Yahuwah our God. Bella, listen, you got to turn it down a little bit more. And I'm wondering if that center right beside here is causing that to go in and out. All right, y'all. Nehemiah chapter 11. And the rulers of the people dwelt at Jerusalem. The rest of the people also cast lots to bring 1 of 10 to dwell in Jerusalem, the holy city, and the 9 parts to dwell in the other cities. And the people blessed all the men that willingly offered themselves to dwell at Jerusalem. Now these are the chief of the province that dwelt in Jerusalem, but in the cities of Judah dwelt every one in his possession, in their cities, to wit, Israel, the priests, and the Levites, and the Nathanims, and the children of Solomon's servants. And at Jerusalem dwelt certain of the children of Judah, and the children of Benjamin. Of the children of Judah, Attathiah, the son of Uzziah, the son of Zechariah, the son of Amariah, the son of Shephatiah, the son of Mahalalel, of the children of Perez. And Messiah, the son of Baruch, the son of Kohose, the son of Haziah, the son of Ediah, the son of Jorib, the son of Zechariah, the son of Shilonai. All the sons of Perez that dwelt in Jerusalem were 468 valiant men. And these are the sons of Benjamin. Salute the son of Meshullam, the son of Joab, the son of Pedaiah, the son of Koliah, the son of Messiah, the son of Ithiel, the son of Jesiah. And after him, Gabai, Selai, 928. And Joel, the son of Zichri, was their overseer. And Judah, the son of Senua, was second over the city. Of the priests, Jediah, the son of Jorib, Jachin. Sariah, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Meshullam, the son of Zadok, the son of Merah, the son of Ahitub, was the ruler of the house of Yahuwah. And their brethren that did the work of the house were 822. And Ediah, the son of Joram, the son of Pelaliah, the son of Amzi, the son of Zechariah, the son of Pashur, the son of Malachiah. And his brethren, the chief fathers, 242. And Amasai, the son of Azareel, the son of Ahisai, the son of Meshulemoth, the son of Immer. And their brethren, mighty men of valor, 128, and their overseer was Zadiel, the son of one of the great men. Also of the Levites, Shemaiah, the son of Ashub, the son of Azrikam, the son of Hashabiah, and the son of Buni. And Shabbatai and Josabad of the chief of the Levites had the oversight of the outward business of the house of Yahuwah. And Mattaniah, the son of Makkah, the son of Zabdi, the son of Asaph, was the principal to begin the thanksgiving in prayer. Go ahead, that's yours. And Abda, the son of Shammua, the son of Galal, the son of Jeduthun. All the Levites in the holy city were 284. Moreover, the porters, Akub, Talmon, and their brethren that kept the gates were 172. And the residue of Israel, of the priests and the Levites, were all in the cities of Judah, everyone in his inheritance. But the Nethinims dwelt in Ophel, and Zihah, Gizpah, were over the Nethinims. The overseer also was the Levites at Jerusalem, was Uzi, the son of Bani, the son of Hashabiah, the son of Mattaniah, the son of Micah. Of the sons of Asaph, the singers were over the business of the house of Yahuwah. For it was the king's commandment concerning them that a certain portion should be for singers due for every day. And Pethahiah, the son of Meshezabeel, of the children of Zerah, the son of Judah, was at the king's hand in all matters concerning the people. And for the villages with their fields, some of the children of Judah dwelt at Kirjath Rabbah, in the villages thereof, and at Dibon, and in the villages thereof, and at Jakzazeel, in the villages thereof, and at Jeshua, and at Moladah, and at Bethlaphet, and Hazar Shual, and at Beersheba, in the villages thereof, and at Ziklag, and at Mikonah, and in the villages thereof, and at Enrimmon, and at Zeriah, and at Jarzmuth. Zanoah, Adullam, and in their villages, at Lachish and the fields thereof, and Azekah, and in the villages thereof. And they dwelt from Beersheba unto the valley of Hinnom. The children also of Benjamin from Geba dwelt at Michmash, and Asia, and Bethel, and in their villages. And at Anathoth, Nob, Ananiah, Hazor, Ramah, Gittim, Hadid, Zebonim, Nebalat, Lod, Ono, the valley of craftsmen. And of the Levites were divisions in Judah and in Benjamin. All right, y'all. Nehemiah chapter 12. Now these were the priests and the Levites that went up with Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, Sariah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amariah, Meluk, Hattush, Shechaniah, Rehum, Miramoth, Edo, Ginnetho, Abijah, Mirmim, Madiah, Bilgah, Shemaiah, Jorib, Jediah, Salu, Amok, Hilkiah, Jediah. These were the chief of the priests and their brethren in the days of Jeshua. Moreover, the Levites, Jeshua, Benu, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Judah, and Mattaniah was over the thanksgiving, he and his brethren. Also, Bukiah and Uni and their brethren were over against them in the watches. And Jeshua begat Jehoiakim. Joachim also begat Eliashib, and Eliashib begat Jehoiada. And Jehoiada begat Jonathan, and Jonathan begat Jaddua. And in the days of Joachim were priests, the chief of the fathers, of Sariah, Miriah, of Jeremiah, Hananiah, of Ezra, Meshullam, of Amira, Jehoahan, Meliku, Jonathan, of Shebaniah, Joseph, of Haram, Adnah, of Merimoth, Hilkiah, of Edo, Zechariah, of Ginnethon, Meshullam, of Abijah, Zikri, of Miniamim, of Moadiah, Piltai, of Bigah, Shemua, of Shemaiah, Jehonathan, and of Jeoriah, Mattani, and Jediah, Uzi, of Salai, Kalai, of Amok, Eber, of Hilkiah, Hashabiah, of Jediah, Nathaniel. The Levites in the days of Eliashib, Joadiah, and Johanan, and Jaddua were recorded chief of the fathers, also the priests of the reign of Darius the Persian. The sons of Levi, the chief of the fathers, were written in the book of the Chronicles, even unto the days of Jonathan, the son of Eliashib. And the chief of the Levites, Hashabiah, Shebaniah of Jeshua, the son of Kadmiel, with their brethren over against them, to praise and give thanks according to the commandment of David, the man of Yahuwah, ward over against ward. Mattaniah and Bukiah and Obadiah and Meshullam, Talmon, Akab were porters, keeping the ward at the thresholds of the gates, meaning they were standing watch. They were the gatekeepers. These were in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Jeshua, the son of Jezadok, and in those days of Nehemiah, the governor, or the Tershatha, and of Ezra the priest, the scribe. And the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, they sought the Levites out of all their places to bring them to Jerusalem, to keep the dedication with gladness, both with thanksgivings and with singing, with cymbals, psalteries, and harps. And the sons of the singers gathered themselves together, both out of the plain country round about Jerusalem, and from the villages of Netophathi, also from the house of Gilgal, and out of the fields of Geba, and Asmaveth, for the singers has builded them villages round about Jerusalem. And the priests and the Levites purified themselves, and purified the people and the gates and the wall. Then I brought up the princes of Judah upon the wall, and appointed 2 great companies of them that gave thanks, whereof one went on the right hand upon the wall toward the dung gate. And after them went Hoshea, and the half of the princes of Judah, and Azariah, Ezra, Meshullam, Judah, and Benjamin, and Shelemiah, and Jeremiah, and the certain of the priest's sons with trumpets, namely Zechariah, the son of Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, the son of Mattaniah, the son of Micaiah, the son of Zachar, the son of Asaph, and his brethren, Shemaiah, and Azareel, Milalai, Galilai, Mai, Nathaniel, and Judah. Hanani with the musical instruments of David, the man of Yahuwah, and Ezra the scribe before them. At the fountain gate, which was over against them, they went up by the stairs of the city of David, and at the going up of the wall above the house of David, even unto the water gate eastward. And on the other company of them that gave thanks went over against them, and I after them, and the half of the people upon the wall from beyond the tower of the furnaces, even unto the broad wall, and from above the gate of Ephraim, and above the old gate, and above the fish gate, and the tower of Hananiel, and the tower of Neah, even unto the sheep gate, and they stood still in the prison gate. So stood the two companies of them that gave thanks in the house. What? What was that? So stood the two companies of them that gave thanks in the house of Yahuwah, I and half of the rulers with me, and the priests, Eliakim, Messiah, Menahem, Micaiah, Elonai, Zechariah, and Hanani with trumpets, and Messiah, and Shemaiah, and Eleazar, and Uzi, and Jehonan, and Melchijah, and Elam, and Ezer. And the singers sang aloud with Jezariah and their overseer. And Elam and Ezer, and the singers sang aloud with Jezariah their overseer. Also that day they offered great sacrifices and rejoiced, for Yahuwah had made them rejoice with great joy. The wives also and the children rejoiced, so that the joy of Jerusalem was heard even afar off. And at that time were some appointed over the chambers for the treasures, for the offerings, for the fruit fields, and for the tithes, to gather them in the fields of the cities, the portions of the law for the priests and the Levites. For Judah rejoiced for the priests and for the Levites that waited. And both the singers and the porters kept the ward of Yahuwah and the ward of purification, according to the commandment of David and of Solomon his son. For in the days of David and Asaph of old there were chief of the singers, and sang songs of praise and thanksgiving unto Yah. And all Israel in the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemiah gave portions of the singers and the porters every day his portion. And they sanctified holy things unto the Levites, and the Levites sanctified them unto the children of Aaron. Okay, last chapter, y'all, and this is 31 verses. On that day they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of Yahuwah forever. Remember who they are, y'all? We talk about it. It's kind of sad, but his daughters did a disgusting thing. Remember, Ammon and Moab was the sons of Lot's daughters, Ammon and Moab. Remember the daughters that slept with their father? They got him drunk, and yeah, them. He said they are not to come in the congregation of Yahuwah forever, because they met not the children of Israel with bread and water, but hired Balaam against them, that he should curse them. Howbeit our God turned the curse into a blessing. Let's read that again. Let's see why they can't come in. On that day they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of Yahuwah forever, because they met not the children of Israel with bread and with water, but hired Balaam against them, that he should curse them. Howbeit Yahuwah turned the curse into a blessing. Now it came to pass, when they had heard the law, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. And before this, Eliashib the priest, having the oversight of the chamber of the house of Yahuwah, was allied unto Tobiah. And he had prepared for him a great chamber, where aforetime they laid the meat offerings, the frankincense, and the vessels, and the tithes of the corn, and the new wine, and the oil, which was commanded to be given to the Levites. You see how that says, and the tithes of the corn, and the tithes of the corn. Remember, tithes were always food. Remember? That's another whole teaching, something that's been mistaught. There were tithes, which were food, but they also talked about monetary offerings. So during that time, they had money, and they called each of these things out by name when they were offering. Tithes were always food. Money was always money. They had shekels and the sanctuary coin and all that stuff. But when it says they bring money, when it's required to bring money, they call it out by name. When it's required to bring food so the priests can eat, is tithes, and it's always food. And the priests take a portion of the tithes or the portion of the food that they got, and they gave it to the high priest, so the high priest could eat. Simple. And he prepared for him a great chamber where aforetime they laid the meat offerings of frankincense and the vessels and the tithes of the corn, of the new wine and of the oil, which was commanded to be given to the Levites and the singers and the porters and the offerings of the priests. But in all this time was not I at Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, came I unto the king, and after certain days obtained I leave of the king. And I came to Jerusalem and understood of the evil that Eliashib did for Tobiah in preparing him a chamber in the courts of the house of Yahuwah. I mean, this same Tobiah that was giving them all kinds of crap because they was trying to, oh, now you want a chamber inside the app? Not on my watch. And it grieved me sore. Therefore, I cast forth all the household stuff of Tobiah out of the chamber. He said, you getting out of here today. He took it and he threw it out. Getting out of here. You have no part here. Verse 9, then I commanded, and they cleansed the chambers, and thither I brought again the vessels of the house of Yahuwah, with the meat offering and the frankincense. And I also perceived that the portions of the Levites had not been given them, for the Levites and the singers that did the work were fled, every one to his field. Why? So they can eat. If you're working in the house of Yahuwah to keep it up, that's why Yahuwah said, okay, they're going to have to leave their fields and come here because they're staying and watch. So while they're doing this and they're taking care of the temple, their payment is going to be the food that's born and given to me. Everything that the people gave to Yah, Yah in turn gave it to his people, the priests who were keeping the sanctuary so the people could bring it, And I perceived that the portions of the Levites had not been given them, for the Levites and the singers that did the work were fled, everyone to his field. Then I contended with the rulers and said, why is the house of Yahuwah forsaken? And I gathered them together and set them in their place. Then I brought all of Judah, the tithe of the corn, and the new wine, and the oil unto the treasuries. And I made treasurers over the treasuries, Shelemiah the priest, and Zadok the scribe, and the Levites, Pedaiah, and next to them was Hanan, the son of Zachar, the son of Mattaniah, for they were counted faithful, and their office was to distribute unto their brethren. Remember me, O Yahuwah, concerning this, and wipe not out my good deeds that I have done for the house of Yahuwah, and for the offices thereof. In those days I saw in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves, and lading asses, and also wine, and grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in a day where they sold victuals. Remember, there's supposed to be no work. You're not supposed to be carrying food inside the gate, outside the gate. You ain't supposed to be out there gardening. You ain't none of this stuff on the Sabbath. There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which bought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath day unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem. And then I contended with the nobles of Judah, and said unto them, what evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers thus, and did not Yahuwah bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. He's like, look, we just got this together. This is why we were in captivity. Now that Yahuwah has blessed us to come back, y'all starting to do the same thing that our forefathers did that got us in trouble? Are you intending to bring more wrath upon us and get us kicked out of here again before we can even move in good? Verse 18 of Nehemiah chapter 13. Did not your fathers thus, and did not Yahuwah bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath? And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should be no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So the merchants and the sellers of all kinds of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth, they came no more on the Sabbath. So they were sitting there like, he closed the gate. We'll get a couple weeks, but we're gonna be out here waiting on the Sabbath. Like, don't even come this way. Stay in your cities. It's like us. Like if we had, like people at farmers markets. If we live in one city Well, it don't matter. If we go on a sale to a people in a place that observes the Sabbath and they keep the laws and their gates are not open, I mean their gates are not open to you. He's coming back. Y'all better get fully dressed. He just want to go let the man come back to get y'all. So go hurry up. He should be on his way back now. So he said you can't do this. He said don't even sit out here because there's going to be at no time during the course of the Sabbath that you're going to be able to get into these gates, and neither is anybody coming out. He said,
what?
They tried it for a couple weeks. Then Nehemiah went out there and he said, you show up again. He said, and it said this, he said, I'm going to lay hands on you. That's where they get it from. They get it right from Nehemiah. Nehemiah was gangster. He said, we ain't having it. Not today, Cole. No, we will not have it. Not today. He said, you come here. You show up one more time on the Sabbath. I myself am going to lay hands on you. And it said from that day, nobody else showed up on the Sabbath to sell their wares or their merchandise. And they're trying to entice the children, trying to entice Israel to sin on that day. He said, I'm not even going to let you entice them because we still trying to get them back to where they need to be. They don't need no kind of slippers. They don't need nobody tempting them right now. And as long as I got this watch, you will not come and do that. Not on my watch. I will lay hands on you. You show up again. Verse 21. Nehemiah chapter 13. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and that they should come out and keep the gates to sanctify the Sabbath day. Remember me, O you who are concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy. In those days also I saw the Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by Yah, saying, ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons for yourselves. Remember? Because they were all the same color people. Hey, Aaron, chill. You better hurry up. Okay. Not because they were of a different race, but because they did abominable things and they worshiped multiple gods. He said, do not mix with them. Don't give your sons and daughters to them, and don't take sons and daughters unto your sons and daughters to marry. We will not have it. Do not mix my people. Do not mix the righteous seed with the heathen seed. That's what he said. There was no two ways about that. Won't know nothing. Like, he did it. Nehemiah was pissed because they had mixed with them, and they didn't even know their native tongue. The righteous seed that was mingled, that had offspring, they didn't even know their native tongue. Like us today here in captivity, we don't even know our native tongue. Look, you got Africans. Africans can speak different African dialects or whatever, but the sons and daughters of Jacob, our native tongue has been stripped from us, and that's an abominable thing. But Yahuwah said, when I gather my people, I'm going to restore unto them a pure language. He's going to restore our native tongue to us. And this heathen tongue that we speak with, this language, this filthy language, and that's in every place, wherever we've been scattered, like I said, we're speaking in the language of the people who reside there and not our own native tongue. Y'all, we them people. We the people of this book. And I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them and plucked off their hair and made them swear by Yahuwah, saying, ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons for yourselves. Did not Solomon king of Israel sin by these things? Yet among many nations there was no king like him who was beloved by Yah, and Yahuwah made him king over all of Israel. Nevertheless, him did outlandish women cause to sin. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. He said the greatest king that we have ever had, he was blessed and loved by Yah. Even he sinned by doing this thing that Yahuwah told him not to do. A lot of people think, and we talked about this, it's our culture that we have multiple wives. No, it's not. Yahuwah specifically spoke about what King said. Y'all pull up the people who got us in trouble. Yeah, they did this, and what happened as a result of it? And they think, you don't teach this doctrine of polygamy or polygyny, these polygamous relate. You don't teach that. Yahuwah is completely against that. He specifically said, do not multiply wives unto yourselves. Kings, do not multiply wives unto yourselves. Why? Because you're the leader, and the people do what you do. They did it, and caused the entire nation to sin because all these extracurricular wives that they had caused them to sin and led them into worship of other gods, which got us in trouble and kicked out of the house. I'll read that again. We only got like a few more verses. Verse 26. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations there was no king like him, who was beloved of Yah, and Yahuwah made him king over all of Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Shall we hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against Yahuwah and marrying strange wives? And one of the sons of Jehoiada, the son of Eliashib, the high priest, was son-in-law to Sanballat the Horonite. Therefore I chased him from me. Remember them, O Yahuwah, because they have defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. Thus cleansed I them from all strangers and appointed the wards of the priests and the Levites, every one in his business. And for the wood offering at times appointed, and for the first fruits, remember me, O Yahuwah, for good. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. We finished up Nehemiah 10, 11, 12, and 13. I know it was a little bit lengthy today, but I don't want to leave that one chapter hanging out there before we start in 3rd Ezra tomorrow, y'all. I'm excited. Okay, so we're going to hear some things. Some things going to be expounded on that were left in here, and it's gonna make this picture a little bit more clear for us as we walk in these days of what's really going on here as Yahuwah is restoring truth unto all the earth. All truth has to be uncovered, so. And as we see the truth, as we find it out, we're going to adjust our lives and we're going to walk in it all the days of our life, that we may not be rooted out the earth, that we may inherit the earth. The righteous inherit the earth. The wicked are rooted out. Let's not get ourselves rooted out of this land. Let's stay. He said, my people, he said, I will plant a righteous seed back in their land, and they will begin to reproduce, and they will begin to live, and many generations will come from them, and nobody will make them afraid. And he said, my people will be able to go wherever they want to go. Like, that's what it says. He said, they can travel wherever they want to go.
Mom, lift dogs.
All right, y'all. So with that being said,
Mom,
I see the dogs. Let's go ahead and do this blessing, y'all.
Look, a baby dog.
I see the baby dog. What's the baby dog called? A puppy?
Mommy.
The neighbor out here walking her dogs, y'all. Okay, y'all. The blessing is found in Numbers chapter 6, verse 22. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise shall ye bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. And they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people, I love y'all, and I will see y'all bright and early in the morning. Let's just say 7:15.
Mom, look. Mom, look. Mom, look.
I see.